Okay. Oh no, someone's screaming.
Yeah. That's what you were hearing. Turns out he was a nuke all along.
Gordon Freeman in the flesh.
Remember the creepy
Wrapped
guy in the suit
in
that's
the
been following us this whole
hazardous
game?
suit, I took the liberty of relieving you of your weapons. Most of them were government property. As for the suit, I think you've earned it. The border world, Zen, is in our control. For the time being, thanks to you. Quite a nasty piece of work you managed over there. I am impressed. That's why I'm here, Mr. Freeman. I have recommended your services to my employers. And they have authorized me to offer you a job. They agree with me that you have limitless potential. You've proved yourself a decisive man, so I don't expect you'll have any trouble deciding what to do. If you're interested, just step into the portal and I will take that as a yes. Otherwise, well, I can offer you a battle you have no chance of winning. Rather an anticlimax after what you've just survived.
So you have a choice of both endings here. And I've shown you what happens in both.
Okay. Sorry, I had gone on mute because I didn't want to cause reverb. So,
Of course.
option 1, you go into the portal.
Yes.
Wisely done, Mr. Freeman. I will see you up ahead.
And that's the bad ending. The bad ending is when you basically decide to side with the villains. But if you want to be a real free man, you do absolutely nothing.
Time to choose.
What happens if you try to stab him?
You can't. You have no weapons.
It's time to choose.
So, yeah, G-Man here, as the character is called.
Well, it looks like we won't be working together. No regrets.
Off he goes.
Mr. Freeman.
As the achievement says, rather an anticlimax. And so with that, where does Gordon Freeman actually end up? I hear you asking. He ends up back on Zen. With no weapons, nothing to defend himself. Until next time, on Half-Life. Dun dun dun. And that's it. That's the end. So,
Okay,
lads, what
cool.
you...
So, very quickly, when would we have seen G-Man already?
Mostly in the Black Mesa sites. So, in a couple of little... If you actually look back through the playthrough, you will see him pop up a couple of times. But he's always like... He's looking through a door. He's looking through a door or a hallway, and then when you try and approach him or try and look at him closer, he'll, like, walk away.
Oh, I do remember him.
Yeah.
I do remember. I tried to shoot him already.
Yes, you try to shoot him, yeah. And you can't, obviously. Goes without saying.
Yeah. I think I'd seen him and I tried chasing after him through the door, and like the door was just constantly locked.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So he's always behind a locked door of some description.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember.
So that was actually quite well signed. That's well signposted throughout the game, and I think it's only because like we've been in Zen for so long that you actually like made you forget that he was watching you, and which again props to Black Mesa on that one because because they fleshed out the Zen part so much, that twist, if you like, works better.
Yes. So I liked bringing you back onto the tram, like bringing you back to where you began the set. Like good shout, good references. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The I guess I'd ask what would the canon ending have been given there is a Half-Life 2. Once you start Half-Life 2, what decision does it say that you took?
To my knowledge, I believe Half-Life or Gordon Freeman refusing to take the G-Man's offer is the canon ending.
Okay.
Hence why you had that bonus little that bonus cutscene at the end there where Freeman returns or gets like transported back to Zen. So let's see.
For me, I would say give him a crowbar when he's on Zen.
Yeah.
Just like have a not the crowbar he used, have a different one because he's on the Lewis thing. Have like a crowbar that was like a safety thing on that.
Never going on a Lewis with Casey. He will bring his own crowbar.
But yeah,
so, no, like I very much enjoyed it ended well. It set up well for what a Half-Life 2 would be, but I'm not sure if we're ever going to get around to a Half-Life 2 on this channel. But no, I have very much enjoyed.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah,
I will say I don't think I missed out on not playing it as a kid. I think I've been able to appreciate it well as like watching it as an old man.
Yeah.
Like there are some that I think, like if you were to play Duke Nukem now, it would be a case of it was the 90s, you had to have been there. If you play, a lot of sandbox games, they're following rules that made sense at the time and they follow the standards of the time. If we played the original Half-Life, maybe I'd be saying that, but the fact that we played off a remake which largely went on to modern standards, I think we've it kept a lot of it kept it like modernized well, that like I'd say I've got a good experience for beginners.
Yeah, I gotcha. You got your money's worth out, I think it's fair to say.
That said, I've said before, it's too long. Like that final level, absolutely understandable. If you paid into the project, they essentially give you a brand new game for the last level. That was, hey, you know this. You know that the final boss is to kill like Nihilego or Nihilegus or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Your final goal is still going to be to kill him, but let's give you your money's worth in getting to that point. So no, like I get why, I get where and why. However, coming into, we're going to play through the whole series in one bucket of sittings, one bucket list of sittings. Like you got to see how stretched Zen was. Everything else there, though, I'd say worked really well. Like it, having only played Portal out of that like set of games, it is the more fleshed out series compared to Portal.
Yeah.
I would understand a lot more of the references that Portal has to Black Life. Sorry, Half-Life.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm glad we got through this. Glad we got through the session. But yeah, that last the 3 hours that we've had on that last episode is a slog, considering.
Yeah. I think it would have been. I think it would have been a slog if we were playing it ourselves in a sense. But I suppose like that's just the kind of I suppose nature of the beast. I suppose of like what you kind of get. I didn't expect it to be that fleshed out when we were starting to play
Yeah.
this game. 'Cause I was looking at like Half-Life. I was treating Black Mesa as if it was a beat for beat remake of Half-Life, and I think
Yes.
that was our first mistake, without actually acknowledging perhaps given it actually is credit that it is its own beast, its own kind of like essentially it's a tribute to Half-Life as opposed to a remake. I think that's probably the best way of actually framing it.
Yeah.
Again, this is not news for anyone who is a fan of Half-Life or of any of Valve's work. This will become absolutely no surprise whatsoever. Just on an interesting kind of point of view there. It goes just according to what I'm seeing here. The consensus seems to be that the canon ending is for Gordon to accept G-Man's offer.
Oh.
Um, and basically gets held in stasis. Reason being is basically that like in the Half-Life 2 starts with Gordon Freeman being taken out of stasis, essentially. Um like it doesn't particularly matter which way it works in a way. But what I'm seeing here, from what I'm reading here, let's see, I'll give you what the wiki says. When Gordon comes to his senses, he finds himself in front of the G-Man. Both are transported to various locales around his end, while the G-Man praises Gordon for our actions in the border world. They explain that his employers have agreed that Gordon has limitless potential and have authorized him to offer for Freeman a job. The G-Man and Gordon are teleported a last time to the tram car, flying through space at immense speed by stepping into a portal and knowing that this his only other choice is a battle he has no chance of winning. Gordon accepts the G-Man's offer.
Yep.
However, if he doesn't accept the offer, he will get an alternate ending. Finding himself floating in nothingness, he's heard the G-Man's last time. Why is he done, Mr. Freeman? I will see you up ahead. So it would appear that that was taking G-Man's offer was the correct answer because you get to survive, essentially.
Okay. Okay.
Again, there's a massive degree of interpretation to that because again, there's other like games and apocrypha there, like Opposing Force and Blue Shift as well. That all puts flesh on the bones before you get to Half-Life 2 itself. So, because there's other characters thrown into the mix a lot while this is all happening. Um, so yeah, we have various other different aspects, but it seems like the consensus is accepting the offer was the canon ending.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. But overall, you were happy with your time in Black Mesa. It's fair to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, this absolutely goes up there as like one of the best games I've played this year.
Right. Okay.
No,
That's
no,
a
like,
kind of endorsement.
like no, for my skill, I'd say a solid 7. Like, and I'd say it takes quite a bit for things to go to 9s and 10s. So yeah, like my skill realistically goes from 2 to 8, with exceptions either way. Like, no, this has been a very good game for us to get through.
Okay. Fair enough. Yep. And Casey, as our independent adjudicator, would you go along with that? Did you enjoy your meat shield experience?
I did, like how good a game has to be to get you more attached to an NPC, you know.
That's a fair point, actually. Yeah, I mean, it got us to care about like hired security, and I mean, it has to be good if it makes you give a shit about that. So, I suppose it's done something right, hasn't it?
Yeah, like you can
Yeah.
see why it's a cultural thing. You can see why people are waiting for the sequel of the other
Mm,
game now. It's very, very well done, especially for a remake.
yeah,
And especially to also not just remake the game, put the extra stuff in as well to pad out the thing.
yeah, that's fair.
So,
Like basically becoming his own thing. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah. Look, I'd
Yeah,
say there's a fair few, like I know it's a bit of a weird position. It's a remake of of the first game where they had full knowledge of what the second game would entail. So they
Yes.
can put in, past callbacks to the future plenty into that. Like I'm sure there were references that weren't in the original game that they were able to make because they had knowledge of Half-Life 2.
That's a good point, actually. I don't, again, without having the context with Half-Life 2, I'm not sure whether they did throw in any Easter eggs. But again, anyone who's watching our playthrough, feel free to let us know in the comments if they have thrown in any. Maybe there's something on the whiteboards or in character dialogue or something. But I
Yeah.
didn't recall anything ultimately. But yeah, it would be nice to have that kind of those are a few little hat tips there if you had them. And of course, don't forget like the Portal games also tie in with this canon as well. So it's all in the same universe and it's all happening at the same time. So um yeah, it will certainly be interesting to see how that went. Um Either way, it's time for us to move on to our next game, ladies and gentlemen. And again, if you're wondering how this series works, we used to do it where we used to take turns playing our games at the same time, and then we realized it was taking us 4 fucking years to do that. So we're not doing that anymore. Instead,
There, there,
James
there,
now
there,
his
there was outside circumstances that were driving us there.
yes, something something pandemic.
Yeah.
Something something switching controller, something something switching fucking console, something something losing save file.
Something Metroid actually did its fucking remaster at such a late stage.
I mean, we literally said at the start this playthrough went on so long, the game got remade. Like it got ported to the fucking Switch. Like the
Yep.
game, we started off the game when there wasn't a Switch. Then there was a Switch, and then it got ported to the Switch. How fucked up is that? How long did that playthrough take? Too long is the answer. So
In our
yes,
defense, though, most of that
yeah,
happened during the time skip. You know,
that's true. Yes, that is very, very true. So we can't blame ourselves too much on that one. In any case, that means that the James's next game on the bucket list has been ticked off, and now we can
Yep.
move on to the next one, which is mine. And we've lampshaded it long enough. It will not come as a surprise when I say that we are playing Blade Runner next. That is the next
Cool.
game we were going to see on this series. So I'm going to play it. I was only saying to the guys off camera here, but I'll say it to you now as viewers as well because later in the game, I have been waiting to play this for actual years. Like this has basically been the basis of this series in a sense where like Blade Runner is my favorite movie, just in case anyone's curious. If you know me too well, this will not come as a fucking surprise. I mean, there's just look at my personality. But if you're uninitiated, what I will say to you, guys, if you haven't watched the Blade Runner movie, I'd recommend watching it before we start the playthrough.
Okay.
Um,
It has been a
Mainly
hot minute
because
since I've watched it, so yeah,
yeah.
I'd go back to watch again.
Yeah, and get the director's cut into you because it's just more of the same.
Okay.
What it'll do is it'll just get you in the mindset for what kind of vibe, the themes, the characters, that sort of stuff. So you're not playing as Harrison Ford's character, Deckard here. You're not doing like playing as him, but you are playing as a sim as another Blade Runner, essentially doing the same job, looking for replicants. And doing the exact same tasks and meeting or ranking with the same characters, but you are playing a different character. I think he's McCoy. I think it is. I think his name is. So you're playing someone else doing pretty much the same job. Plot's similar, but does take a few different departures and is its own beast. A lot of people shockingly have considered the game to be a better work than the movie, which is a bit of a hot take, considering like Blade Runner is a seminal movie in a lot of places. But some people consider the story in the game to be better than the movie, which
It's
is
it's 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 really rare, like really rare for a video game adaptation to be kind of as better than the film.
yeah, absolutely, and that's what's kind of throwing people off. But again, people who played the game swear by it, and I suppose we'll find out when I actually do play it and see how it does compare with the movie. So yeah, now the fun bit about this as well is, as I was saying to the guys off camera, Blade Runner comes with a little bit of a twist. Because obviously it's a detective game, much like the movie is very detective and very much a noir detective story wrapped up in a cyberpunk environment. So this is a
Hmm.
similar story. So, the actual villain of the piece, or if I suppose the replicant in the room, is chosen by the game at the start. And we don't know until basically the time comes for it to be revealed. And when we do that, of course, I will have played through it, but my lovely people here, James and Casey, will be in the dark. and they won't know who the replicant is, or replicants, in fact. So we shall see how they get on as they narrow down their list of suspects. So you will be actually donning your overcoats here, lads, and being the Blade Runners in the room to see if you can point out the replicants. Because bear in mind, you do get to do the Voidcom tests in this game. You do actually interview and interrogate potential replicants. So we shall see how we do with this. I will report back with preliminary findings, of course, before we start the playthrough. But yeah, that's what to look forward to on this series. Uh, so and and of course, I would be remiss if I was to say what happens after Blade Runner, which I'm looking forward to personally, is KC's next pick, which is Conker's Bad Fur Day, which I don't think could be any more fucking different than Blade Runner if it tried.
Oh, looking forward to it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what to look forward to on this series. No doubt we will have kicked off Conquer Bad Fur Day at some stage in this year of 2025. But I'm sure Blade Runner will probably take a good stint of it, nonetheless. So until then, guys, thank you very much for joining us on this series. Thank you for joining us for Black Mesa, and I hopefully the G-Man found you a job because he seemed like a really trustworthy and nice guy. You know, the way he was kind of like, rubbing his lips on his lapel, very trustworthy.
Yeah.
So yes, until then, guys, we'll see you next time on the bucket list for Blade Runner. Good night, everybody.
See you next time.
Bye.